Good morning and welcome. Welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Society of Albany. We especially welcome our visitors to our service today. My name is Joyce Chicoine. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the service associate for today. Some of you may know my husband, Jim Chicoine. What you may not know is that I'm also bisexual. And I'm also the chair of the inclusivity team, which has put together today's service. This morning, we welcome to our pulpit Karen Kaufman, who is a member of our inclusivity team as well. And we will also hear from other members of the congregation who identify as part of the LGBTQIA community.
Good morning. My name is Jay Holly. My pronouns are she, her. And I have our call to community this morning. A protest and a party. People sometimes ask, is Pride a protest or a party? And the answer is, of course, yes. And why not? Why not rejoice as we resist? Dance as we demand change. Celebrate as we create community that delights in all of who we are. So bring all of that with you this morning. Bring your policy demands. Bring your glitter. Bring your Supreme Court broken heart. Bring your rainbow socks or jackets. Bring the emptiness you feel for our siblings gone too soon. Bring your Gloria Estefan remix. Bring your tender hope for change. Bring your most garish eyeshadow. Bring your spirit, tattered and battered by a world that seems insistent on choosing fear and hate. Gather up all these things and bring them here, to a place we don't have to shoulder these burdens or celebrate these joys alone. Come, let us worship together.
Please join in the chalice lighting words shown on the screen. Welcoming all free seekers of truth and meaning, we gather to excite the human spirit, to inspire its growth and development, to respond morally and ethically to a troubled world, and to sustain a vital and nurturing religious community. Okay. We have Eric coming up.
Good morning and happy Pride. My name is Eric Von Hausen and I am proud to be gay and part of the LGBTQIA+ community. In my opinion, the best thing I can do for anyone in this community is to let them know that they are not alone. On June 28, 1970, on the one-year anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, the first Pride marches were held in New York, LA, and Chicago. Thousands of LGBTQ people gathered to commemorate the Stonewall and demonstrate for equal rights. Traditionally, the Pride Parade was led by Dykes on Bikes, a collection of lesbian women on motorcycles. You may not love the name, but that's what they called themselves. Following them along the parade route are always different organizations and businesses who are demonstrating their pride in being associated with the LGBTQIA+ community, much like our group today. Today, the premier spot in the Pride Parade can be bought by corporations like Hannaford to show their openness to LGBTQIA+ employees, which is noble, but in my opinion shows no respect for the tradition of the Pride Parade. I think I've attended enough Pride Parades for one lifetime, but I'm a huge fan of Pride. When you grow up gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, questioning, intersex, queer, two-spirit, or non-binary, you grow up for a period of time feeling invisible and alone. This is the root of internalized homophobia, the moment you accept the hate you have for yourself because you are different. Pride is the day you look around and realize you're not alone, and maybe a little different is good. Well, I am gay and proud. I am male, cisgendered, I use he, him pronouns. I'm considering bringing back the term Gaylord because Lord of the Gays sounds fantastic. I'm proud to be married to Todd Von Hausen. I am proud of this congregation for accepting me as I am. I am proud of each and every one of you. But having pride means I accept and love myself. I don't need anyone's acceptance of my marriage or my sexuality because I accept myself and I like myself. I know I am accepted here in this place, but out there, sometimes yes, sometimes no. You, and by you I mean all of modern society, cannot shame me for that which I accept about myself in peace. Let me say that again. No one can shame me for that which I accept about myself in peace. I was once in front of a gay bar when a group of young men drove by and they shouted, "Gay!" out the window. I responded back with, "Next time you call me a faggot. If you're going to call me a name, use a spicy one." Gay, it's like being called tall. Yeah, I get it, yeah. Not everyone will accept you for who you are. Not everyone will feel inclined to use your preferred pronouns. Not everyone will like you. Those people are not your friends. As for me, I love you all. Happy Pride. Bravo.
Good morning. I'm Brian Frank. My pronouns are he and they. I'm co-chair of the Programs for Children and Youth Council. I'm also an elementary instructor for our elementary age students. That includes our OWL programs for K1 and 4th, 5th grade OWL. And our wisdom story today is Neither by Airlie Anderson. Once upon a time, there were two kinds, this and that. These and those. One or the other, until honk. What kind are you? I'm both. You can't be both. You must be neither. I'm neither? Neither tried to play a this game. You can't play with us. You're not rabbity enough. Neither tried to play a that game. You can't play with us. You're not birdie enough. Why don't you find somewhere else? You're not one of us. You're neither. Neither, neither, neither. Where did you come from? Honk! I'm from the land of this and that, but I'm neither. So I'm looking for somewhere else to fit in. This isn't somewhere else, but you will fit in here. Where's here? So many different kinds. Come play with us. But I'm different from everyone here. I'm neither red, nor orange, nor yellow, nor blue. Exactly. Excuse us, we're from the land of this and that, but we don't fit in at home. We are looking for somewhere else. But You said I was neither. You said I should go somewhere else. Well, this isn't somewhere else. This is the land of all, and everyone fits here. Once upon a time, there were many kinds, this and that, somewhat and whatnot, either, very, sort of, just, rather, a little, neither, and both. And all were welcome.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lynn Lakakis, she and hers, and today we're going to hear from Rob Sanders, a book called Pride, the story of Harvey Milk and the Rainbow Flag. I didn't practice this technology business. You have to give them hope, hope for a better world, hope for a better tomorrow. Harvey Milk was an ordinary man, but he had an extraordinary dream. That dream would change history. Harvey dreamed that everyone, even gay people, would have equality. He dreamed that he and his friends would be treated like everyone else. He dreamed that one day people would be able to live and love as they pleased. With his New York accent, Harvey talked to everybody about his dream. His voice boomed, his body bounced with energy and excitement. Some people listened, a few agreed, most did not. But Harvey's big voice and his big dream wouldn't be stopped. He discovered that the best way to change laws was to help make laws. In 1977, Harvey Milk took a big step toward that dream when he became one of the first openly gay people to be elected to political office in the United States. Harvey and his friends planned marches to protest inequality and unfair laws. And just days before one of the marches, Harvey had an idea. A symbol, he thought. We need a symbol that shows who we are and how we feel. Something to carry during the march. Something to make people feel they're part of a community. Something to give people hope. Something extraordinary. Harvey knew an artist who could help, Gilbert Baker. Harvey asked, Gilbert said, "We need a flag." Volunteers arrived to help Gilbert's design come to life. Together, they dipped fabric into large barrels filled with vivid, vibrant dyes. They cut pieces and sewed until Harvey, Gilbert, and the other activists had a flag with 8 colorful stripes. A flag hoped that Harvey would give hope. Rights are won by only those who make their voices heard. On June 25, 1978, when it was time for the march, a breeze stirred in San Francisco. The flag unfurled. The wind blew, the flag fluttered, flapped, and flew. A rainbow as bright and unique as the men and women who walked behind it led the march. Harvey and the people asked for equality. They asked to be treated like everyone else. They asked to live and love as they pleased. They hoped the march would make a difference. Harvey was proud of the flag and proud of himself. He hoped that others could be proud too. 5 months later, on the morning of November 27, 1978, Harvey and the mayor of San Francisco, George Moscone, were assassinated. Their lives were taken by a man who did not think like Harvey, or feel like him, or love like him. The flag did not fly on that dark, sad night. Instead, thousands and thousands of people marched silently, carrying candles. The candlelight wove through the streets of San Francisco, up and down the hills and around city buildings. A mile of glowing candlelight in honor of 2 lives lost. That could have been the end of Harvey's dream and the colorful flag, but it wasn't. More rainbow flags were created. Some of the colors changed. 8 stripes became 6 stripes, but the meaning of the flag did not change. It was a flag of equality. More and more people began to think of the flag as their flag, and they began to feel pride, and they began to have hope. In 1994, Gilbert Baker designed another rainbow flag. This one was larger than all the rest. Women and men side by side carried the flag, a proud, mile-long rainbow floating through New York City. The flag wove through the streets, up and down avenues and boulevards, and around city buildings. The people demanded equality. They demanded to be treated like everyone else. They demanded to live and love as they pleased. They were proud. They had hope. They would make a difference. I asked for the movement to continue, for the movement to grow. More rainbow flags were made. Some were printed on bumper stickers and T-shirts. Others were hoisted onto lampposts on Halsted Street in Chicago. One was hung in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. Soon the rainbow flag was flying in other countries like Brazil, England, Israel, Russia, Singapore, and Turkey. The rainbow flag now unfurled on farms, in suburbs, and in cities. The flag flew proudly outside public buildings, hotels, shops, restaurants, churches, and homes. And once, on June 26, 2015, the White House was awash in the colors of the rainbow flag. Equality, pride, hope, love. Harvey's dream became a flag for us all.
Thank you. I am very happy with you. 34 years and getting feedback during. Let me try. So I am gay and I am blind. And what I have to tell you is not all is well in the GLBTQ community. I imagine you didn't have to do that because you have such many specific, dedicated, working to help change that. But I must say, assume I would want to take the trouble to go on dating, I would have my pick, which is no problem. But then I have to go through an unnecessary existential duet I am during the first meeting, or tell them first see them. If I tell them that I'm blind when I first see them, that is online, I might have something like this. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm seeing someone right now, but maybe I'll call you or whatever. If I tell them they need me, then there is a way in the back of the brain, the idea. He kept such an important thing from me. What other might he be? Am I accepted here? They say I am. But then, when I express myself a certain way, like using my countertenor voice, they don't like that. And what they do is slap me with a newspaper, a little bit of it first, and I'll say, oh, the battery. But it's gone a little farther than that. She says, guess what I did? And she says, I bought a squirt gun, which will be used if I should express myself in that tenor voice. I told her I would like it, and that if she uses it, I will be very angry, and for it is very mean act and does not square with who she is as a person. We're coming toward the end of the time, I guess, but I tell you that I've had a bad dream, not a lot, but enough to tell me it's a little scary. So the only left day to all of you today is happy.
And next we have some reflections by Shannon Simpson.
It's like an out-of-body experience walking up here. I had something written out about my experience. But I will share what happened yesterday. My middle nephew was arrested and is charged with a felony hate crime. Him and two of his friends sat on a stoop on Madison Avenue near where people were celebrating Pride. And they targeted gay people. And the words fag came out of his mouth, and then some other slang that they use now. And as I sat at the police station in a locked interrogation room with him, I felt so much shame. And it was not of him, but of myself. Like, where did I go wrong? That's what I was thinking. Tried to guide him in the right direction, tried to teach him love and understanding. And here was this kid sitting next to me who hated people like me. It's hard to be in the same house with him right now. It's hard to be with myself right now. I was going to share that I had some shame of myself for being gay, but it's magnified right now. So he assaulted this kid who tried to walk away, and he followed him. And as I watched the video of him punching the kid in the face, my heart broke. It didn't just break for this kid who I just wanted to reach out to and tell him that I love him and I'm sorry. But it's breaking for this 17-year-old who is so full of anger. So full of anger from losing his mom and his dad that he felt the need to take it out on someone. So we have court tomorrow morning, and I have to sit there and I have to support Darius, and I'm finding it very hard. So that's my story. Got my life together. I started healing and started changing because I needed to be an example for these boys. And for this to happen, and it's not registering to him the severity to be charged with not only a felony, but a hate crime. I never thought it would happen in my house. I never thought one of them would do that because of me. So I don't really have anything happy to say. I was going to march in the parade, but the guilt that I feel and the shame I feel, I don't know. But I have to tell my truth. I have to be honest, and there's still so much hate in the world. And my heart just breaks for that kid who was targeted. Love you, Shannon. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. We love you. Good morning, everyone. I'm Karen Kaufman. My pronouns are she, her. As I started thinking about what I would say today, I realized that this spring marks 50 years since I came out as a lesbian. Yikes. At that time, in the radical feminist community I lived among during my junior year of college, it almost felt like jumping on a bandwagon. Not that it was a political decision. When I first connected with another woman, who also happened to be named Karen, everything in my life made sense for the first time. 50 lucky years. My parents accepted it, my employers were okay with it, and legal protections for gay people were being enacted. I've been so fortunate in the lack of discrimination or negative consequence because of my identity, to the point where I sometimes don't even feel like a member of an oppressed minority group. Of course, this is especially true here. In my lifetime, the arc of societal acceptance has bent steadily toward justice and equal rights. Progress seemed inevitable as decision makers' minds were changed when their sons and daughters came out. Discriminatory laws and government policy simply had to change, and they did. The crowning achievement was marriage equality, which had seemed like a far-fetched dream when I was young. When the 2015 Obergefell decision came down, I was at GA in Portland, and I will never forget the joyous celebration I shared with thousands of UUs. But recently, my complacency has been shaken. There's a growing and relentless movement against non-traditional families, driven by a distorted interpretation of Christianity that is gaining power and influence. It's almost unthinkable, and yet quite possible, that this faction will soon come into real power. Many of us view the coming election as a reckoning of whether our experiment in democracy will survive. But I'm now thinking even more about the very direct threat to my own well-being and that of my friends. We talk of obtaining dual citizenship and moving to another country. I'm frightened now by the focus, almost obsession it seems, of conservative thinkers on canceling gay and trans people and ideas. For me, this fear was prompted by an overlooked news item in April of this year, when congressional negotiators hashed out our country's $1.2 trillion annual spending plan. The main story was everyone was relieved that Democrats and Republicans managed to reach an agreement that would prevent the federal government from shutting down. But this compromise bill included, of all things, a provision prohibiting the flying of the Pride rainbow flag at U.S. embassies. What? Really? This is what you need in a budget bill? And it turns out we were lucky because there were 51 other anti-gay and trans policy riders that Republicans brought to the budget negotiation table. These included many of the poisonous provisions we've seen proposed and enacted in various states, restricting medically necessary health care for transgender people, facilitating discrimination against married same-sex couples, blocking discrimination in DEI efforts, and myriad other mechanisms for stigmatizing the gay and trans community. I was just blown away by the realization that furthering the anti-gay and trans agenda was such a high priority for this faction that they would risk a government shutdown to get at least one of their poison pills included. These people are deadly serious, and if you need further proof, look up Project 2025. You may have heard of this blueprint for an incoming conservative presidency created by the Heritage Foundation, but until you actually open the 900-page document, you can't fully appreciate how profoundly things could change on day one of a Trump presidency. It's extremely thorough, contains specific roadmaps for each of the federal agencies, such as the Departments of Education and Health and Human Services, that could quickly be implemented and change all our lives. For gay and trans people, there would be a reinterpretation of sex discrimination that would no longer include discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity, notwithstanding what the courts have held. Those courts, including, of course, the Supreme Court, have already been reshaped to ensure that these new interpretations will be sustained. You've no doubt heard about the many anti-gay and trans bills that have been pending and in some cases enacted in state legislatures across the country. Their vindictiveness seems to know no bounds. For example, there's one where teachers or counselors who were found to provide any kind of support to a student's social transition would be guilty of a felony and registered as a sex offender. Another bill would create a malpractice action with a statute of limitations of 15 years against any health professional who provides gender-affirming health care to a minor. We know bills like that are unlikely to pass in New York. But did you know that there are 48 bills of this kind pending in Congress? Candidate Trump has expressly supported these kinds of proposals on the campaign trail and will surely sign them if his and the House and Senate elections go that way. So living in New York won't help. So as we look toward this fall's election, I know I don't have to give you voting recommendations. I just ask you to keep in mind the effect this election could have on gay and trans people, on our very survival. For myself, I'm clinging to the new motto of Planned Parenthood: we won't go back. Thank you.
Now you can turn to the back of the insert and read these words together. Thank you. May we breathe into a moment of gentling. May we whisper to each other of belonging, of I belong, and you belong, and we belong, just as we are. Amen. We've heard about a lot of challenges today. In the face of challenge, we can do two things. We can cancel, we can give up, or we can practice radical resilience. Radical resilience is the ability to face hardship with greater love and deep awareness. The practice of contemplation, of being fully present, is one way to grow more resilient, teaching us how to sustain inner strength, purpose, and connectedness. Contemplation shapes radical resilience in a way to choose love and peace over anger, denial, and despair. Imagining a better future begins by finding it within ourselves. Only then can we help others tend to their own inner flame. Together, we can live that better future out into the world.
All right, go ahead. Let's join in the chalice extinguishing words that appear on the screen. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Those on Zoom are encouraged to join a breakout room for conversation and fellowship. You can click to accept the room assignment when it appears on your screen. Those in Community Hall have two options today. Your first option is to attend coffee hour in Channing, which is of course sponsored by the Cub Scouts. Your second option is to join a group of us who will be joining the Pride Parade in Washington Park, sponsored by the Pride Center of the Capital Region, and it starts in 25 minutes, folks, 11:30. So if you'd like to join us, you can start walking in that direction immediately. As you exit the building, we will have some flags to give to you and hopefully some water bottles. And Allison Hart, oh, we do. I'm seeing a nodding head that we do have the water bottles and the flags. Allison Hart, she was the one that did the story upstairs. She's going to lead us because she knows where our place is in the parade. So when you exit, look for Allison or look for the people walking in that direction. That concludes our service. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support.